Hey everybody! The past few days have been pretty eventful surrounding the Stop Killing Games initiative. First, of course, the signatures have hit the 1 million mark and kept climbing since then, which is necessary because we need to have a margin of error in regards to fake signatures or other issues. Of course, PirateSoftware has been going through about 50 different emotions about it. First he was sad, then he was mad, then he was sad again, then he was mad and sad at the same time, and then he was also weird, taking credit for the initiative making it because of making a villain out of him while wishing that it fails. The dude is definitely not having a good time right now. It looks like he's slipping into his Batman villain arc or some shit. He also quit his position on off-brand games, claimed that people were review bombing them and all that, but it turns out that not really. They were just review bombing his game, Heartbound, which, yeah, you know, I could make a joke right now about this potentially having nothing to do with the drama and controversy online and more to do with his game being in early access for like 7 or 8 years now. But yeah, I mean, of course, the drama online, the controversy, all of this stuff, it obviously plays a major role here. He also went on this tirade about all the bad stuff that's been said about him online and how he hopes the initiative fails anyway because of it.
How are you trying to say that a rescue is an animal horde? I've been called a pedophile, zoophile, rapist, corporate plant, degenerate, narcissist, nepo baby, and many other names. And they attacked all the accomplishments over my life, despite physical evidence to prove to the contrary. And they also went after every job I ever held, trying to say that I never worked them, or if I did work them, that I never deserved them. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that your initiative gets everything you asked for, but nothing you wanted. And I'll leave it there.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Which is pretty meaningless at this point. I mean, he already said this last year when the initiative first came about.
This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. Now, eat my entire ass. All of this can eat shit then. I drop the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit. that video made me actually mad. Like real mad. Not like fake memes mad, like actually mad. Like, I'm actually mad.
So yeah, I mean, who cares? He already wanted this initiative to fail from its inception. He was already speaking against it and telling people not to support it, while telling the people behind it to eat his entire ass. The whole thing. Which is way too kinky for my taste. Like, geez, take me out to dinner first at least, no? Saying this now after all of these comments online just makes him look even more ignorant and vindictive because at this point he's just being an idiot. Oh, I want your pro-consumer initiative that would actually be great for the industry to fail because people were rude to me on the internet.
Because of that, I can't make these speech videos anymore.
Plus, the way that he says it is too funny too, like the way that he ends it with, and I'll leave it there, as if there was anything more to add when he knows that he's got nothing to say because he still fundamentally misunderstands and misrepresents the initiative. He got f***ing owned by Ross, he got owned by Charlie, and he got owned by the entire goddamn internet. He's got nothing to say that won't be immediately followed by yet another 50 videos disproving his bullshit with receipts and more memes. The very best thing that he can do now truly is to just leave it there, go offline and see if he can finally finish his fucking game, instead of commenting on things he proved to know next to nothing about, pretending as if he's doing it for the good of the industry, for the good of the developers, when in reality he's not. He's doing it for the good of his corporate overlords. And even if he doesn't have corporate overlords, then he's doing it to be a contrarian. One way or another it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the point is, he's going against developers, he's going against consumers, and he's supporting the companies. But on top of that, we've got more. The Voldemort of gaming, so to speak, or at least the European side of it, aka Video Games Europe, which is a lobbying group composed of the biggest assholes on the planet such as EA, Activision, Ubisoft, Embracer Group, Sony, you know, the whole party is here. There are Warner Brother games, remember? Such fantastic products as, what was it? A Soy Squad killed the Justice League, right? Turning the Batman series into that was a brilliant idea. These morons and several other fresh boys has quickly come out making statements against the initiative. Because of course they would. I mean, these assholes love to make live services, and the last thing that they need is some pesky law or regulation that requires them to have some kind of end-of-life plan in place for their future games, so that they don't just come out and then get taken away from their buyers at any given moment that they deem necessary. I'm gonna read the statement for you guys, and we're gonna parse the entire thing through my bullshit detector. I only bought it last week though, I haven't had time to calibrate it yet, so excuse me for any weird quirks. But let's check it out. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Oh, what, like the 3 months for the crew? Hey fellas, in 3 months, your game is gone. Sorry about that. A statement 3 months before it happens, and then not even a single label on any store that screamed, hey fellas, you shouldn't buy this game right now because in a few days it's gone, leading to people buying it anyway without knowledge that the game was going to be entirely shut down, without even access to it offline. Thanks a lot, asshole. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. Let's put this through the bullshit detector first and see what comes out.
You little fucks actually made it? Oh god damn it, what the hell, everything was fine. This thing was dead in the water, what the fuck happened? We own you. You ain't getting shit. These games are ours. You are nothing. You're a fucking renter, and we'll take whatever we want from you. Oh, you want the games not to get shut down? Well, too bad. Should've bought more copies. Should've bought more loot boxes. Should've bought more microtransactions and battle passes. Wanna keep playing your little game? Buy the sequel, chump. We're gonna do whatever we want, and there ain't shit that you can do about it because it's legal. It's all legal. The game was rigged from the start, bitch.
Whoa, jeez. I really should calibrate this one of these days, that was a bit extreme. But one thing is for sure though, these companies were looking at this initiative and seeing it fail, so they pretty much forgot about it and they didn't bother to come out and speak against it in any way. Suddenly, Ross makes that video showing all the garbage that PirateSoftware got wrong, PirateSoftware crashes out, big creators join in, some talk to him to no avail, they make their own videos, the goddamn movement rises from the ashes, and now they're nervous because the deadline is in a couple of weeks and we might actually have it passed if the signatures are validated. They are scared, and they're scared because they know what the fuck they've been doing behind the scenes alongside the giants in this industry. They've been moving towards an increasingly digital-only future where you own jack shit. Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation are all in on it too, ever so gradually. Another increase in video game prices, push for subscription, increases in the subscriptions, a fucking disc drive for a console sold separately for $100. I mean, who do I look like here? Stevie Wonder? Actually, even Stevie Wonder would be able to see right through all of this bullshit. The funniest part is that they're using the same argument PirateSoftware was using throughout all of this time, and that he just got cooked for. Hence the line, the decision to discontinue online services must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. It's exactly the issue that PirateSoftware had, just with more words, or at least one of them, where it implies that companies are going to be forced to keep these games online even when they don't want want to. No such thing is stipulated in the initiative as a requirement. The only requirement is that when these games get shut down, a playable form of it should remain accessible to people. I like looking at Counter-Strike as an example. Valve could shut down their servers tomorrow and I would still be able to play Counter-Strike offline against bots, or even go online by hosting my own server with my friends or whatever. Even user-created content is still accessible if we want to. There's thousands of custom maps and skins on the internet that anyone can grab and use. In essence, this is what the initiative wants, or at least one of the options that companies have. Well, to be fairest, in essence the initiative just wants companies to not be able to just rip our purchases away from us. You don't have to keep your servers going online for eternity. Like, if I freeze myself like Fry from Futurama and I wake up in the year 3000 and try to run my copy of Anthem because of, I don't know, getting brain damage while I was in the cryogenic chamber, I'm not going to sue EA for the game not having its servers online, but I should be able to at least play the damn game solo, even if it be weirdly balanced or straight up not as fun as it used to be with 3 other people. This is not an impossible ask, yet these companies are out here in full force trying to kill this thing by using disingenuous means. It's actually pretty ironic how everyone called PirateSoftware a disingenuous corpo shill, like, he's doing this because he's in their pockets, and now these companies are coming out with the same fucking argument. This really doesn't make it look good for either of those parties. Also, note the last part of the message: when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Yeah, that's the goddamn problem, dumbass. That's why the initiative is so necessary, because current consumer protection laws are terrible. They don't provide any protection whatsoever. We just talked about the crew situation and the 3 months notice. That was all bullshit. And there's some who say that what happened with the crew actually was not in compliance with the local consumer protection laws. But I guess that's up to them to prove. One way or another, the point is that no game should just be taken away from us. They allow companies like these to have it in their terms of service that they reserve the right to change their terms and take our shit at any given moment, of any given day, and for any given reason. Blizzard, for example, even has it stated that they don't even need a reason. They can just take our shit and peace out. On another statement, they say that private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would leave right holders liable. In addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. You gotta be shitting me. So basically 2 things. 1, private servers, aka the game going offline and being open to people playing it on their own or hosting their own servers, is not viable because things can go wild with your data. Or for example, cheaters can get into the game, or they can change content in the game, or just about anything else that would be monitored and banned. There we go. This is extremely easy to solve, just don't be responsible for it. That's it. You're not only not running the game indefinitely, but you're also not liable for anything else anymore the moment that you shut the servers down. Just add those lines to the user agreements and we're good. I mean, you can do whatever you want, you can add whatever the fuck you want. You can literally write that at any given moment that you want to, you can take our games away from us. This is even more extreme than this situation. So why can't you put in the line that says that after the game is no longer supported by the company, then you are no longer responsible for their data or liable to anything, and that if people want to play this game, they do so at their own risk. Extremely easy problem to solve. It shouldn't even have been written down because it's totally ridiculous. I mean, if you really break this down into English, what they're saying is, oh no, we can't do this. It would be irresponsible for our poor players. I mean, they'd be playing an unsafe version of our game. And we care so much about our players. We have protections in place for them. Let's just scam them out of their money and completely take the games that they paid for away from them instead. It's for their own good. Like, what the fuck is this? And the other thing is that some games are designed from the ground up to be online only, and so these proposals would be way too crazy. Like, it'd be way too crazy for them to, again, from the ground up, before a single line of code has ever been written for the game, add in an end-of-life plan where the game just basically functions offline. Literally just functions. Nobody is asking for the whole world here. No one is asking for the game to be providing everything that it would feature offline, like, oh man, where the fuck are my daily quests so I can unlock the glowing dingo sword on the store? Nobody's asking for any of this. Just make it function. And apparently, this is too much, and would make these games too expensive to make. Prohibitively expensive to create, as they say. And this one is just the richest one ever. This industry has been spending money like fucktards all on their own while making video games. And now, all of a sudden, they're worried about spending? Remember Concord last year? $400 million down the tubes working on a goddamn hero shooter that didn't even stay playable for 2 full weeks. The upcoming Battlefield game, Battlefield 6, is in development right now, with sources indicating that the budget has already exceeded those $400 million as well. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, $700 million, revealed through court documents. Fucking Modern Warfare 3? Estimated to have reached $1 billion. Remember Destiny? All the way back then, $500 million. Destiny 2? Well, there's no data out, but you can expect at least another 500 million. What the fuck do these people think that they're kidding here? They're spending money frivolously on making and marketing these games, and now they're saying that an end-of-life plan like simply keeping the goddamn games in a functional state is going to make them prohibitively expensive? What's next? The same company's coming out next year, maybe in 2 years, hell, maybe in 2 months, and saying that making good single-player games that come out in a playable, bug-free state at launch is also totally incomprehensive. Like, oh fellas, no, we can't do this. You're asking too much. Doing such a thing would make single-player games prohibitively expensive. They have to be broken. It is what it is. I don't control the system. We're doing everything in accordance to local consumer protection laws. How about you knock a few $100 million off of your marketing budgets instead? How about you comb through your studios to find where all of this fucking money is bleeding out from? Because a constantly rising cost of development, especially in cases like Call of Duty, where the majority of the fucking games are the exact same as the last one, doesn't make any sense. You know what their real problem is? It's that these live services have become exclusively cash cows. That's it. We don't have online games like we used to anymore, where it's just a game. We have full-blown monetization machines now. The store is what fucking matters. Everything you do is for the store, or the battle pass, or the gambling room with the loot boxes, sometimes all 3 of them at the same time. And so these companies don't want people to be enjoying themselves, playing a video game of theirs that they cannot monetize any further. And of course, they can only monetize them if their game is online. And another big problem they have is their games are often designed for the grind, to maximize profits, to the point where if you take away the online crap, along with the online stores and all of that other garbage, the game is going to be boring as hell and potentially, to some extent, maybe even broken when it comes to progression. So, to be fair, some of these games are going to be hard to play, but even then, the initiative isn't asking for rebalancing, just for the game to work. If the game is hard to play, that's our problem, and that's fine. So this statement is still a load of bullcrap, of course, but it's interesting nonetheless, because if they actually reworked the way that their games work from the ground up, so that the entire game would be at least more functional and halfway well balanced even while offline, which again, the initiative is not asking for, then they could actually save online live service games for themselves. They could actually end up in a position where these games improve because they're not so intrinsically tied to milking players and thus are actually more geared towards fun. And then players like myself, who used to spend hundreds and hundreds of hours playing online games and online, thousands honestly. I mean, if we take a look at my Steam playtime for Counter-Strikes all across all 4 of them, there's a lot of hours in there. I also used to play a bunch of Call of Duty. I played Planetscape or whatever it was called, Day of Defeat, Killing Floor, Battlefield, Team Fortress 2, a metric fuck ton of Chivalry, Medieval Warfare, Left 4 Dead, San Andreas multiplayer. Oh, and speaking of San Andreas multiplayer, actually a prime example of this sort of stuff that I used to play a lot of and then I just stopped, is Red Dead Redemption 1's multiplayer mode all the way back then. When we compare the first one to the second one, it really shows the online game ideological shift that we went through. Like, the multiplayer mode of the first game used to actually be all about fun, and players like myself, who used to be able to play a lot of online games, would actually have a reason to go back to playing online games again, if they reworked things or at least dialed them back a bit. I stopped playing them precisely because of this. These games became fucking boring. The difference between Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2's online modes was soul-crushing to me. They ruined everything. The first game was all about fun times with the boys. The second one was yet another fucking grindfest trying to emulate GTA Online. Like, I already have to worry about making money in real life, why the fuck do I now have to have a job in an online game as well? This comparison works across the entire industry. Multiplayer games back then were all about fun with the boys, and now they're about maximizing profit by fucking you. And so, they lost me a long time ago, and now all that I play is single-player games. But anyway, I'm sorry for getting sidetracked there, let's get back to the topic. This is actually one of the things that have me most concerned about this. It's the way that the discussion surrounding these topics is going to be going down at a later date. The things that'll be said, the arguments that'll be used, and more importantly, who's going to be appointed to listen to them. It really takes people who understand these matters to be able to not get swayed by these ridiculous extreme narratives that these corporations are going to be pushing to obfuscate the matter and make this look like some unhinged initiative that actually demands companies to keep online services running indefinitely, or that demands free access and distribution of copyrighted material. Know what I mean? Like actual demands for these studios to not just sell their games as products, but the entire source code so that we can do whatever we want with it. It's extremely easy to obfuscate this matter and mislead people, like all the people who were misled by PirateSoftware last year, myself included. It's concerning when these things move forward because, for example, you guys remember a few years ago when Mark Zuckerberg was in court? Lots of amazing memes came from that time, like him trying to drink water without looking like a skinwalker.
Time limits will be and must be strictly enforced given the numbers that we have here today. If you're over your time, Chairman Thune and I will make sure to let you know.
Well, if you'll recall, there were also other memes that pertained to trying to listen to Mark explain basic internet concepts to really old people who couldn't understand what the fuck is going on. We saw some of it during the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial as well. For example, Amber Heard's lawyer referred to people's tweets or posts as their Twitters. It's very scary when you have to rely on people who don't understand what the fuck is going on in order to pass legislation that is actually fair, and I mean this for both parties. Because obviously I also don't want this to result in unhinged hurtful measures for companies, studios, indie developers, etc. that are actually unreasonable and exaggerative and hurt their ability to make and sell games. And neither does the initiative. That's why the initiative is so loose and friendly. That's why some people call it vague. It's because it's not being extreme. It's not, putting the dick on the table and going, this is what we want right now, you know what I mean? I may be over here telling these megacorps to go suck eggs, but that's just because they refuse to move even a slight bit. Because of course, they're used to pushing our fucking boundaries all the time with predatory monetization, price hikes, pushing the erasure of game ownership, etc. so on and so forth. So for them to just be fair with their buyers is already too big a push. It stands in the way of what they're working towards. Things have gotten ridiculous over time, and sometimes it's not even noticeable because we kinda just spent years trusting these companies to at the very least not do what Ubisoft did last year, where they outright just took a 10-year-old game away from us with no other avenue. Like, sure, they may be total pricks hiking up their prices, driving up monetization, and even pulling what they did with Battlefront 2 as an example of something so egregious that it resulted in more court shenanigans, such as, what was it? It's not gambling, it's surprise mechanics. But didn't expect things to get so bad, to go so unhinged. I mean, just take a look at this ridiculous garbage that's been floating around online recently as well from Ubisoft. It's an update on their end-user license agreement from 2023, but it only came up now because people only found it now, since again, this is how it goes. You trust these companies not to be as bad as cartoon villains to the point where they're updating their license agreements with unhinged shit, but here we are. We are now at a point where we really have to start reading or paying a goddamn lawyer on retainer to go through these just in case they add something saying, "We reserve the right to your kidneys if you play for more than 5 hours without buying any microtransactions." Hey, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's read. You and Ubisoft or its licensors may terminate this agreement at any time for any reason. Termination by Ubisoft will be effective upon notice to you or termination of your Ubisoft account at the time of Ubisoft's decision to continue offering and or supporting the product. Upon termination, for any reason, you must immediately uninstall the product and destroy all copies of the product in your possession. Like, excuse me, bitch? I must what? So if they terminate our, agreement, I have to go and uninstall the games and then destroy the copies that may be in my possession? Who the f*** do you think you are to demand me to do any such thing with what I spent my money on, you stupid f***? Do you see why I hate this? Do you see why we need this initiative? Do you understand why I detest that little pesky tiny thing of having to be online to play their games, or at the very least to install them, even when they are single player, as it was with Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows? People love to come in on my comments, whether it be here or on X, and moan about how, "Oh my god, what's the big deal? You need internet for other things anyway. Who cares if you needed to play or install a single player game? Jesus, people are so unfair with Ubisoft. They are so mean, they are so jaded, like they are so vitriolic, it's so unnecessary, it's so bad faith, this poor company." This is why, dumbass. Because it's never just this one thing or this other thing, it's always some underhanded bullshit with much more hiding underneath the goddamn surface. All of it like little drops in a bucket, little tiny pushes towards a big goal that ends with their dicks jammed up our asses. Of course they can't ensure that we're taking their goddamn games to an incinerator to destroy them like, "Well, Cletus, Ubisoft terminated my EULA, so I guess I gotta go and take my games out back." So they're already working on having backdoors in place where it's like, "Oh, who's trying to install our single-player video game? Decembro? Oh, sorry Decembro, thanks for the 70, soon to be $80, but you are not allowed to play our video game." Yes, our, because they'll always be ours to do with as we please, no matter how much you paid for today and how much more you'll be paying for in the fucking future, as we keep hiking up these prices while justifying it all under market conditions being rough. Remember, gamers must get used to not owning their games. These companies are scamming you and they're telling you to your face. Believe them. Fellas, this is why we need this damn initiative, even if we don't like live services. If for nothing else, then to try and protect the concept of owning the games that we buy. And even if not for that, then at the very least, to stick it to these assholes who have been getting way too comfortable while screwing us. But anyway, that's it for this video though. It's already way too long already. I just wanted to give you guys a short update on what's going on with the situation. If you're a EU or UK citizen, sign the initiative, keep sharing it, keep the awareness for this insanity going. The links will be down in the description and on the top comment. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for more, and check out another one. Why not? They're free.
For now, anyway. Shit.